Hello guys, before this video starts, just gonna say today music has been brought to you by Free Music Archive and the song is called Ditch Digging by Jewel Punks. And that's it, see you in the video. Now in today's video, this is a part 2, we're going to create our first game. Using the tutorials I already show you, you should be able to understand everything I'm going to do here. If not, you can always check those tutorials back up again and see what did you miss. Now, as you know, this is basically a startup in our Blender. So what is wrong here, what do we need and what we don't? Well, basically for our basic startup we need to change it to game engine. And for these objects, because there is a chance they're basically, well, not wanted, we need to delete them. We will select them by pressing the A key a couple of times, and as you can see, all are selected. Now we can delete. This is it. Pressing the delete key and selecting delete will delete them. The objects we need should be created here in centers. So to do this, we'll need to snap cursor to center, and every object we create will be basically centered here. Now, what do we need? We need a plane. This plane will be our base, basically our floor of the game, so we need to make it bigger. As you can see, I'm editing it in the edit mode. You can scale objects in object mode, however, there is a problem that these objects will, if you export them, will basically be their original size. So that modeling, that editing in object mode, I do not prefer it, and I suggest you basically do not do it. So do everything you wish in edit mode, do not do in object mode. Object mode is okay if you're doing something, for instance you wish to do a quick brush, something like that, quick modulation, but in the end it will mess up your object, so don't do it. Scaling here, we're going something like this, should be fine. Now, what do I need? I need to add an additional object, that is cube. Now, as you see, I already changed into object mode. Why didn't I add the cube in edit mode? If I added a cube in edit mode, that cube would be part of the plane. Wherever the plane goes, the cube goes. So yeah, don't do that. If you're creating new objects, object mode. If you're editing them, edit mode. That is it. Do not mix those two and try not to. So this is going to be our barrier, and for that I need to modify it a bit. I'm going to select a face, select this face, extrude. Yeah, should be fine. Now, what is this going to be? Well, this is going to be an obstacle for my player. So as selected, I'm going in object mode. I'm going to change its statistic is going to be fine, invisible should be okay, and collision box. Now there is if you can see this is displaced collision box. So what is the problem here? Basically our mesh is not in alignment with our collision box, because we're using the collision box, not an object in itself. This is not important because this is only a barrier. However, you have to be very careful what happens with your collision meshes. If something is wrong, you have to realign them. Now I'm moving this over here, should be fine. This should be fine. Okay, now I can add a camera. This camera should be in center, so location should be 0, 0, and on Z I'll put it about 10, should be fine. Rotation should be 0, 0, 0. As you can see, this is our camera. Now, what is important for a camera? We can put it on height about 20, should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. In our case, we can go inside, see what's going on. Okay. Now, here, in camera settings, we need to edit orthographic view. Why are we giving our camera an orthographic view? Well, orthographic view will basically make our 3D game 2D. It will basically remove our perspective view, 3D, any shadows and so forth. And this is important in our case because we wish basically to have a 2D game. This is only a startup game for you to learn, and 2D is in a way optimal. So we're going to orthographic. Let's see what happened. As you can see, we're having a bad scale. We need to check our scale about 20. As you can see, I can either make my objects smaller, or I can move my camera a bit farther apart. I'm moving it to 30. Yeah, should be fine. This is much better. It's easier for me to move my objects. Now, edit mode, select edge, extrude, make sure you're going a bit over, doing the same here, extrude, object mode, move this. Be careful what mesh you're referring to. We're going to duplicate this and put it on the other side. So this is what we are going to see when we play our game. This little, in a way, shiny box. And before I continue, I'm going to rename our objects. This one is going to be called base. This one is going to be called wall 1. This one is going to be called, wall 2. Now I know what each of these does. However, I'm going to add some color to this, and a gray one should be fine. Okay, a bit grayish. Here I'm going to give it just to represent the green. This one also. Yeah, should be fine. What do we need next? Next is our player. For our player, of course, we are going to create a cube, but before I do that, I need to snap this back. Snap cursor to center. Now everything seems to be fine. Okay. Now add in a mesh, add in a cube. I need it to be high, 1. So what I did, I moved my cube above the center with this Z motion. So because I'm doing everything from the camera view, I know that my height needs to be 1. So yeah. Let's go back to camera view, because we're looking through this. It is rather easier. In a way, we know what and where is what, so I suggest you use this as your orientation point. I'm going to make my player blue. Okay, and for now we need to give him some motion. Well, what do we need? We need to go left and right. Those are 2 motions. However, we wish to use A, D, left and right keys. So 4 keys, 2 motions. Let's see what happens. I do apologize. Now we need keyboard 4 times. One is A, the other one is D. One is left, the other one is right. And on the other side we need 2 motions. In order to make sure where our motions are oriented, you need to go to 3D view. You see y-axis. Y-axis up, down, okay. This is what we need as an orientation. We need the y-axis. 0.5 will be 1, the other one will be minus 0.5. It does not matter which one is which, because this is just a simple orientation. You can modify this later and see which one is better for you. This is basically just saying, okay, move. Now, before I connect this, I need to discuss something. I am connecting these 2 over here. However, if I connect them, in order for my player to do this motion, it will require for me to press both keys, A and D, and left, in my case. Now, in order Why is that? Because this is an AND sensor, which means only when these two are activated we are going to have an effect. Now I can choose an OR sensor, and for my next one I'm going to choose an XOR sensor. What is the difference between these two? Well, an XOR will only allow me to press one key and to use either of them, but only one key press will be active, which means if I hold two of them down, I will not get any additional motion. Simple. And in OR case, there is a difference. In OR case, if I hold down both buttons, I'm going to have a motion. Now, I'm going to leave this as is, so you can see, because you can download this file, and you can see the difference with, well, your testing. Now, in order to test, we are going to press the P key. This puts us in player mode. Now I'm going left and right with arrow keys. Nice. The other one, A and D, working fine. Now, if I press A key and down key, left key in my case, I'm going to go down. Oops, up. Sorry. Oh, something is wrong. I think I forgot to give my character physics. Oh yeah. Give your character physics. This is the best way for your character to move, and I forgot to do that. I do apologize. Now let's try it again. We're going to the object. Okay, we're going down. I'm using the right key or the D key. As you can see, he's moving, bouncing off the walls. Should be fine. Okay. However, if I press left and right at the same time, the player will basically stop, like not moving. But if I press A and left, our player is moving at full speed, so you can test this out. I do apologize about this one character, I slightly tired. Now, what is the next thing we need? Well, we need a sensor, which we are going to call end game. I can do this without the spaces or call it a game over sensor or something like that. Now, what do we need? Well, we need to go into edit mode, select faces. For this I need a 3D view, and before I do anything I need to move it. Object mode, move it 1. Edit mode, select one face and move it. On the other side, yeah, should be fine. Let us see what we did. Oh, should be fine. Object mode, we move this about here. What is this? Well, as you remember, in our planning we created an enemy that can touch this sensor and the game will end. So we made it a sensor. Everything should be fine. We will create for this to be invisible, and just to show you what will happen, I'm going to give it a bright green, slightly green color, yellow, green, no, never mind. And let's hit P. It is invisible. This is very important for us. And now we have our sensor. Only thing that we need to do is check our boxes. Our collision mesh to be box. Our character collision box should be also active, and everything should have a collision box. Now in our case we'll be triangulating mesh. Okay, everything should be fine. Okay, back to camera view. Now what do we need? Well, we created all of this. Now we need a path for our bad guys, in our case aliens, to move. So I'm going to add a plane, put it on 1. I'm going to edit mode. I'm going to move her over here. Select an edge, this edge, extrude, and go about halfway down. Not totally, but should be fine. in edit mode still, select all, this object is selected, I'm going to subdivide. I'm going to do this a couple of times. One more should be fine. Okay, now what is this? This is going to be our path, and this is a path that our object, our alien, is going to follow. What is important here to know? Well, why did I subdivide it this much? There is a good chance that if your path is not, well, technically subdivided enough, or it is very complex in a way, there is a good chance that basically your object you wish to move on that path, in our case an alien, will not move. The path will not be calculated properly, it will not be able to basically create the path you wish. Now, by selecting key B, by pressing the B key, I can select this. Should I select this also? Yeah, should be fine. And this one, pressing the shift key and clicking. Sorry. Okay. And I'm going to delete faces. So, back to selection. This one. I'm going to delete these faces. B key. And I'm going to delete these faces. Now this should be the path that our object will follow. There is a good chance that something is wrong in path creation, and yeah, we do not have our path, but I believe everything should work fine. Let me see. Now I'm going to name this navigation mesh. It's not a name, it's added in physics. Just make sure that everything is reset. Should be fine. Now we need our alien. For our alien, I'm going to use a sphere, sorry, UV sphere, here it is. I'm going to give it a red color, should be fine, and I'm going to scale it a bit. Not a lot, but yeah. In physics, static is okay, but in order for our object to follow, we need either rigid or dynamic. Rigid is okay, and I need to make sure my collision bonds are operational. However, I can use either box or I can use a sphere. For my case, in this case, we can use a box. It is not needed for us to use a sphere. And to move our alien, oh, I forgot. I need to rename my cube into player and give it a property. Player, rename, player, should be fine, and game sensor and game should be fine. Sphere, I'm going to call it alien. I'm going to give it property alien. Alien. Okay, boolean check. Did I do this? This is a tedious process, but I suggest you do this. And game, camera, wall. Okay, player. I need to be boolean and I need to be checked. Okay, everything should be fine. Now, in order for our object, in our case, in order for our alien to move, we need steering. Now, in this steering, we need path following. So, what is our target? Our target is going to be end game, and our path is going to be plane. However, I need to rename my plane to path. Should be fine. And let's go back to our alien. Path renamed. Okay. And in order for anything that is in a way active, we need to give it, well, be active all the time or certain times. This is the way to do it. We need an always. This sensor basically measures time if we give it time, or it basically, in our case, it constantly works. So our alien is going to constantly try to reach our object and this should be it. However, before I go, I'm going to use visualization. This is nice so we can see what is going on, and I can use show physics. These two options will basically tell me what is, if something is wrong, and so forth. Now let us see. As you can see, there is a problem. If this path was good, our object, our alien, would have moved properly. Now we have a problem, and basically it will not move. See, no path creation. However, I believe I found the problem, that it basically is somewhere around here. It is strange, but yeah, as you can see. So what is the problem over here? The problem is basically that our path is trying to move this, our alien, into center of our sensor. Now if I created my sensor smaller and put it somewhere else, yeah, for instance, I'm going to use my player, I'm going to place it over here, and I'm going to rename the ability in alien to, instead of going to the end sensor, is going to player. Let's see what will happen then. As you can see, the triangulation is better, so be careful how you use your sensors and how you use your paths, because basically a path will work properly if you have it close to the center of the object you wish your, well, alien in our case, to move to. So I have two options. Either I create two sensors which are duplicate one of the other, or I put a secondary target. So for me, the best way is, I already have my sensor over here. The best way is to create additional target, and before I do that, I'm just, no, not that object, this object, I'm just going to redo what I did over here. It is not necessary, it is not needed, so yeah. Now, object mode, before we start, snap to center. To center, now we need a cube. This is going to be a sensor. We can create it a static object and give it an invisibility. However, a sensor is always good. We're going to give it name target, and because, yeah, we can basically put it over here. Move this away. Now I do apologize, I need my target over here. Sensor, I need it to be invisible, and it does not even need to use collision meshes. So yeah, it's something the paths in general are very problematic. If you create them too small, there is a chance of failure. If you create them how should I say this, unaligned properly, they'll make problems. So there are a couple of ways to create paths. The first one is to do this manually. The second way to create a path is basically taking this object. I'm going to remove this navigation path and make it a static one, and I'm going to build navigation mesh. Now, build a navigation mesh is okay when you have already created a certain terrain or something and you wish to make sure that your character basically goes up the hill, goes down the hill properly, and so forth. It is useful, you can do it, yeah. However, here's the catch. As you can see, our navigation mesh is smaller than our previous object, so be careful with that. Navigation mesh set, logics in our alien, we are going to target, 3D view. Yeah, should be interesting. Of course, you can create multiple sensors, so when our alien moves to a certain point, we can change its direction. This is additional programming. We will eventually do something like that in the future. However, this is just a normal tutorial, so yeah. Now the second thing, now the next thing we need is to create our rocks, our meteors. So yeah, start with a cube. I'm going to give it a color. I'm going to give it black because I want them to be evil. Name them rock. I'm going to give them property rock. I do apologize, wrong. And of course boolean. Now everything should be fine. 3D view. So what do we do with this rock? Well, we want for this rock to basically kill our player. The best way to do this is to restart our game or end game or something like that. In order to test this, the best way to do this is basically tell the program that it can restart itself. So what do we need? This object can be static or can be dynamic. However, if we wish to destroy this object, I suggest you give it a rigid body characteristic. This way we, as already have seen, dynamic or rigid, it is no importance, but we need to have them be either dynamic or rigid body. Whichever you choose, it's not very important. 0, 1. So make sure that this is on, because of the bullets we are going to use. We will get to the bullets. Now we wish to destroy our rocks. This is the part where I'm doing with bullets. For now, we need to scale this. 0.5. Nope. Scale 5. Okay, 0.5 should be okay. Half of its previous size. Object mode, let me check. Did I check collision bounds? Collision bounds operational. Property given. Everything should be fine. Now, in order for our body to move properly, what do we need? Well, we need an always, and we need motion. Oops, sorry. Now, as you can see, simple motion, servo or character motion. For us, simple motion is what we need. We need to connect this. And where and how is this motion going to happen? Let's check our 3D view. We wish to move our object on a positive x-axis. Make sure that the positive side is where the arrow is showing. This is the positive side. So we need to move it on x-axis. We're going to move 0.4. This is just a test, so let's see what happens. Rather fast, and yeah, it's okay. Now let's get back to logics. We can close this. What do we need? Well, we need two things. First one is end object, and this is for later use when we wish to destroy this object. And for now I'll leave it empty. The second one we need is, well, basically scene. What do we need? We need to restart the scene. When will this happen? In order for us to do this, we need a collision sensor. Connect this. And what is the property, or what is the condition that we need to fulfill in order to have this effect? Well, we need to collide with layer. Everything seems fine. Yeah, should be fine. Now, let's test this. As you can see, the game is repeating itself. We created the rock, we created an alien, path, sensor, we created player, blockades. This is very good, this is very important because I'm going through the plan we made in the previous video. Now, I need to have multiple meteors, rocks, and I need to have them respawning after a certain time when they're destroyed or something like that. So in order to fulfill this, I need in a way to create something that will basically spawn them again and again. What is needed? An empty. I'm going to place it on value 1, move it over here, and with this empty, I'm going to give it a special property. What is this property? Well, always. However, this always will activate every 100, every 100 ticks in the game. You can modify this number of ticks by changing basically what the game engine uses and so forth, and you can modify this number to suit you in a way you want and so forth. By checking this, it will say after every 100 ticks of basically seconds, you activate again. So basically respawn or recreate this whatever we put on the other side. Now in our case, we are going to edit object, we are going to create rock, and our rock is going to last 100. So basically when our first rock dies, the other one will respawn. Now this time over here is very important. If it is 0, that will mean that the object will be technically endless, and in a way it will try to go to infinity. This is not good for any game because it will use up your resources in trying to calculate where that object went. Do not do that. That is basically not good programming. If you give it a value, measure it. In a way I measured previously, 100 should be fine, 150 should be okay also. Now I can increase this on 120, this is basically every 2 seconds, so yeah. Before I do anything I need to make a contact. Okay, now 3D view, I'm moving this to my number 2, and let's see what's going to happen. Oh, sorry, I need to move my player out of the way, and as you can see, the meteors are basically appearing, reappearing, appearing, reappearing, and let's just see. Wait, oh, I cannot. I wanted to see out of, oh yeah, I can. And I'm going to move my player a bit here. So okay, if you're wondering what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to show you when our objects are going to die. See? At a certain point, our objects disappear. This is very important because basically we do not wish to use our resources at any point and to infinity. So make sure that every object you create from a gun that has or something like that, that eventually dies. Okay, that should be okay. We created an empty. Now to rename this empty, I can call it a spawn point. Of course, this is spawning my rocks, and I need to have 4. Instead of making duplicates of my rocks, I'm making a duplicate of my empty. And I'm just gonna move him out of the way so he doesn't die immediately. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Our alien is a dynamic object, and here's the kicker. Because it's a dynamic object, we have a problem. Basically, it collides with another dynamic object. However, if I go to my rocks and I give them static object, this problem should be fixed. Let's try to see what happens now. Nope, still active. Yeah, the problem is I need for them both to be static. As you know, static will react with dynamic and will not react with another static object. So in a way, win, lose. What do we need? Well, we saw that rocks and our object are placed as static. This object has a static ability, however, N is using a navigation mesh we created, so it's operational. And we do not wish for them to collide, so however, for our bullets, we need them to collide with these objects. To create bullets, I'm going to use a mesh that is a cone. And I'm going to delete it because I need it in center. Snap. Add mesh. Cone. I seriously do not see my object. I need some color on it. Green. Okay, green. Okay. Now I need to rotate it. First one. Rotation on X 180 and rotation on Y 90. Should be fine. Yeah. Okay, scaling. Okay, should be fine. So this is our bullet. Logic, property, bullet, integer, primary. And what do we need? Well, we need for this bullet to basically be rigid body in order to react with our sensors and to have something. This is a simple creation game. Now, I'm not using a lot of sensors, I'm not creating enemies that come with sensors on them and so forth. This is a basic creation. This game can be extremely complicated if you wish. This is just an easy way, an easy one. No scoring, no additional abilities, no save and exit and so forth. This is basic. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, our bullet. So, let's move to our rocks. Now I need a rock, I need my aliens, I have my bullet. What do I need more? Well, I need one more empty. Edit mode, object mode. Empty, plain access. What am I doing with this empty? Well, this empty is going to be parented to my player. So I go here, I go parent, oh I do apologize, and I'm selecting a player. It went away somewhere randomly. It usually goes in a certain direction, but putting it on location 1, should put it in the center because it is looking where the player is. It should be 0. Yeah, should be fine. Now, this is in a way so I cannot see where my empty is. However, if I press Z, wireframe mode, I can see. If I move my player, my empty will move also. This is the location where we are spawning our cones. And I forgot to do something very important, of course, collision and triangulate mesh. Okay. Everything should be fine. Oh no, I'm going to use box. I gave it a rigid body, that should be fine. Okay. Okay. Now, we need to have an always sensor and a motion sensor. We are going to move on x-axis minus 0.5. We're moving in the opposite direction. This should be closed, looks fine. And now, if we collision with rock or collision with alien, I believe, I name my alien property with a big A. If not, that could be a problem. Small a. Okay. Where was I? I was in my bullet. Target. Bullet. Okay. Small alien. I need what? I need XOR. And what do I need on the other side? I need an end object that is in edit object, end object. So what is going to do? If our bullet collides with a rock or alien, the bullet is going to kill itself. That should be fine. Now we are going to our alien. We are doing the same, giving it collision with... God damn it. Did I name my bullet bullet or did I name a big B? Okay. Bullet. And object. So we are destroying our alien and we need to destroy our rocks. Our rocks are over here. I left it empty. Okay, waiting for collision with our bullet. Okay, should be fine. Now I'm going to save this. Okay, and let's see what happens. Z mode off, play mode on. Okay. Oh, I forgot a very key feature, and it is here. I don't believe it, I forgot about it. I need to have a keyboard sensor that sends a space key, and I need a mouse sensor that senses left button or right button. Choose whichever. I'm going to use a space key, and I need an XOR, and I need here to create edit object. I'm going to add an object. I'm going to add bullets. Here I am. And 150, I believe that was the time that we saw. So should be it. Let me check in 3D view. I moved this in my layer 2. And yeah, now should work fine. As you can see, I'm destroying these guys and they're destroying me. However, I do see something strange. I need to investigate this. Sorry. I'm not sure what's going on in this picture. Why is it swirling? Because everything is flat and there's no... Oh, don't tell me. There's body. Dynamic. Yeah. I do apologize. Now let's try to see what's going on here. Yep, seems better. I do apologize. The problem seems to be basically in physics or logic editor. Okay, because this is the whole tutorial in game creation. Now, some of you may say I missed a couple of things, but basically I didn't. The only thing I missed was to create additional empty that will basically respawn this guy. You can do it yourself. This can be your homework. And I didn't create a scoring system or something like that. Like I said, that was not in the plan. Stick to the plan. Even if it is a bad one, stick to it. That is it.